So Eddie, tell me how when you witnessed the training that your daughter did at the camp, tell me how watching them train the kids affected your coaching style. How have you changed as a coach in terms of seeing what they did?
Well, seeing the Barcelona camp training session over a week for 1 week was very, very impressive for me. Not only um, the way they do the sessions with the kids, uh, but what they leave out and what they leave in the sessions, in the practice sessions. And one thing I noticed is that they do not work on headers. They do not work on throw-ins that much. They actually didn't even work on that on the whole week that I was there. Um, they do focus on technique, technique, technique. Technique is so important. Why? Because you receive, you pass, you move without the ball. You got to make sure you get the ball to space, to the player. So that's what they're focused on: technique, technique. Because once you have the technique, then the quickness comes in, the change of direction comes in, the strength comes in. All that you work into that. But they're as kids, as a camp go as a camp for kids at age between 8 to 13, 14 years old. They need that technique. The very, very important is the technique that they need to be able to develop the other skills that Barca is looking for. And me as a coach, what I've learned and what I've seen is that before I would run my kids half an hour, run nonstop without the ball, which was to me now is unnecessary. Since I attended classes and I created the Barca camp, they'll get the speed, they'll get the quickness, with the dynamic drills that we do there. The dynamic drills that they were doing with the kids, they're gonna get that. They're gonna get that. The technique is very important because that's the key to soccer: receiving the ball, passing the ball, moving. Looking for a good penetration pass with possession of the ball, though, never losing the ball. So that was very, very impressive for me. They also worked out a lot of juggling. I noticed that before their dynamic warm-up, actually their warm-up was juggling the ball. And what does that help? That helps their technique. Me as being a soccer player, also as being a soccer player when I was young and still playing soccer today, one of the most important things for me, and then I keep telling my daughters, you gotta learn how to juggle. You need to juggle. That's very technical. That's gonna help you control the ball. Cradle the ball. Have it be your baby. Like I tell my kids, have the ball be your baby. That's your baby. That's your love right there. You want the ball. You want to cradle the ball. You want the ball. However you want to send the ball, put it aside. Give it to your teammate. I say so. So that's one thing that's very important. So that's one thing I'm going to start soon. Actually, I started that already. Having my kids do that for 5 minutes. All it takes is 5 minutes. Have them juggle in place with control of the ball. Give them that technique. Get that technique going for them. And then once they get that technique, the drills that they do, you incorporate speed, you incorporate change of direction, you incorporate penetration passes with support. And then they're going to be able to play like Barca. The way Barca is trying to teach us as coaches to play the correct football soccer, and that's what we're trying to get introduce into my club. I also have a friend, Sammy. I want to bring him in because he is also a Barca fan, and he has the same philosophy and the same mythology that we have with Barca. So back to the question. So that's the things that I've learned at the camp. The way they bring out the technique for the kids. Not only the technique, but the way they introduce it to the kids that make them have fun. At the same time they're having fun, they're learning. They're on a serious note. They make it as professional, but also as family oriented as it could be. And that's one thing that I did notice. And it was great because you see the kids were happy. All the kids were happy, and they were like family. When some of the kids left, they were sad because they weren't going to see their teammates no more. But it was a great experience, and I'd definitely do it again.
That's great. I really would love to check in with you later in the year when you continue to coach your team to see how learning Barca style will help your team to grow. So I would love to check in with you later with that.
Most definitely. I like I said, I would love to do that. and you could, interview parents of kids and see how much they have advanced and how much my philosophy of Barca style is impacted them. And like I said, I'm learning every day from Barca. Every day I watch the games. If I can't watch them, I record them. When I get a chance, I watch them. And I learn from them. And it's just that's football soccer to me. As I grew up playing soccer, that was our style. Touch, move, a lot of technique. Have technique was first because that's the most important thing. And then everything else comes in place. And that's the football we want to implement into our kids.